call this meeting of the Bucks County Retirement Board to order for May 15th, 2024. And we have some public comment today. First is Michael Hanks. Morning.
Good morning. I think we all see that inflation continues to rear its ugly head. It's not really going down. It's not really going up now. It's just ugly. So I guess the question that needs to be asked is, what's the plan? What's the plan for the COLA increase? Last year's plan I didn't like. We didn't get a COLA increase. It was warranted, could have been, but we didn't. On top of that, we got a sucker punch with a tax increase. So we both got a inflation and a tax increase in perpetuity. So not a good plan. Everybody up here got comfortably reelected this past fall, and that's great. And we're very happy you're up here. They say that we elect our best and brightest, okay? And I would like to see that this coming COLA opportunity, okay? They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing all over again and again and expecting a different result. The plan is what? What is the plan? That's what we're asking. Need to change it up. Need to come up with some different solutions. I don't know that you're taking us very seriously. I hope you are, and I really want you to take us seriously because we're going to keep coming here. Going to our state representatives is not what we're looking for. We think you guys can do something, make some tough decisions, and ask you to do it, okay? So I also want to urge the folks who are listening or watching other retirees to contact our commissioners and ask them what the plan is, okay? Thank you very much.
Ed Mackhouse.
Ed Mackhouse, physicist, retired teacher. Physics studies matter and energy. You can't get something from nothing. What America is can be the greatest country in the world again, and the richest. We have plenty of resources and plenty of technology. And under President Trump, we became energy independent, and we produced more energy. We could keep the prices of oil down, and we could pay off our debt. Now, under this Green New Deal, we're destroying our energy, begging our enemies to give us money and give us oil. And now we're having $1 trillion we're paying just on interest on debt. And there's a $3 trillion deficit a year. We're now at $33 trillion deficit, $1 billion in interest every day. We're heading for $44 trillion in deficit. How can you increase benefits to pay for inflation? How can you continue Social Security and stuff if you're giving all these benefits to illegal immigrants who never worked in America at all and don't deserve this stuff? We have veterans dying suicide because they're not treated properly, and then we're giving housing and all this benefits to illegal people who haven't earned or worked for us at all. This Biden administration is turning the justice systems against us. Like in a democracy, you don't persecute the person trying to run against the president. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. deserves Secret Service protection. We can't do everything to help our enemies. We had a thing to give money to Israel to defend itself, and Biden's not allocating the money. Instead of allocating from the Congress, he gives money to pay off student debt from people going to college to learn how to anti-Semitism and how to blame the Jews for everything. I think that reality should go in. America, Trump made America great again. We don't like what he says all the time. But he doesn't. His children don't get hundreds of thousands of dollars for paintings from China and all. So we have to have people that will work for America and make America great and give American workers what they deserve and not give benefits to people that didn't earn it. So thanks. American voters are smart, and they're not going to be stupid, and they realize where the money goes. You can't get blood out of a turnip. We got to produce energy, produce things, so that people will invest in American and won't make the interest rates go back up to 18% like under Jimmy Carter. Thank you.
Glenn Sherman.
Now, back to the matter at hand. I was thinking that I might have been a little remiss in waiting till April to talk about my reactions to the January meeting, but then I got to thinking we're approaching the one-year anniversary of House Bill 298 sitting in the State Senate Local Government Committee, where it arrived on June 6th of last year and has not been touched. It's slumbering away there ever since. So, to get on to that, I was doing some more reading in the county commissioner's best practices about pensions, and one of the things that it notes is county pension plans, and I'm quoting here, are a unique combination of defined contribution and defined benefit plans. Almost half of my pension comes from money that was deducted from me down through the years of working here, and the meager 4% interest that was applied to it. Talked to Mr. Google this morning, and I said, what's the average return in the stock market in the last 50 years? Because come October, we'll mark 50 years since I first became employed by the county. And the returns in that time are a little over 7%, the average returns. That's just S&P, Dow, the whole 9 yards. So a lot of folks think that we're just getting pensions on taxpayer money that came out of nowhere, or a turnip. However, that's money that was taken from us. Like I said, almost half my pension comes from my contributions. When one of the commissioners talked about retirement planning, I doubt that they sat with the retirement planner and said, I don't want to make more than 4% on my money. I don't want to have any choices where my money's invested, and I don't care that that's all I get. We're here to tell you that we did our part with the understanding that when the level of inflation got to what it is today, there would be cost of living adjustments. There have not been in almost 5 years. We've lost over 20% in purchasing power in that time. And yes, we are all taxpayers too. So we don't get exempt. There's no employee deduction or discount because we were employees. So I'm asking you again, take a look at this. I'm waiting to hear, again, as I talked about last month, how the COLA figures are contrived, because they don't make any sense to me. So I'd appreciate your input on that. Thank you.
Is there a motion to accept the minutes of the April 17th, 2024 Retirement Board meeting?
Moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Secretary's report for April?
Yes, good morning, thank you. Attached to your board packet was the Bucks County Employees Retirement System for the transactions for April 2024. The total amount of contributions received from members in April of 2024 was $1,441,439. The total amount of member contributions refunded in April was $129,365, representing 15 former county employees. The total amount of monthly pension benefits issued in April was $4,749,316, representing 1,932 retirees. The following people retired in April of 2024. Ralph Alcott from the Maine Courts Department with a length of service of 7 years, 9 months, 29 days. Eric Cordes from the Youth Center with a length of service of 25 years, 7 months, and 29 days. John Grin from the Juvenile Probation Department with a length of service of 27 years, 11 months, and 19 days. The total amount of death benefits Death benefit payments issued in April was $135,851, representing one deceased retiree and one deceased employee. Also attached to your board packet was the Bucks County Employees Retirement Fund investment accounts reconciliation for the month ended April 30th, 2024. There you will find that the market value as of April 30th, 2024 was $945,792,579.18. This represents a market performance for the year of 1.77% and a decrease for the month of 3.07%.
Are there any questions for the secretary? Is there a motion to approve the secretary's report?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. There's a request to purchase part-time county service from Christopher Bull from 911 Emergency Response. Mr. Bull is requesting to purchase his part-time county service from June 21st, 2004 through November 12th, 2004 at a cost of $742.99. If approved, he plans to complete his purchase through additional retirement contributions of $186 each pay until the total cost of $742.99 is recovered. I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Bull's request.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. We have another request to purchase part-time county service, Kelly E. Gale from Board of Voter Registration. Ms. Gale is requesting to purchase her part-time county service from March 8th, 2018 through August 19th, 2018 at a total cost of $806.53. If approved, she plans to complete her purchase with a lump sum payment for the total of $806.53. I'll make a motion to approve Ms. Gale's request.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have a review of the investment allocation with Crestline Direct Lending. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Motions? She just gave me the whole thing. Do you want to say anything about it, or?
So Crestline, we talked about that with our investment advisor, PFM Asset Management. They supported a $10 million commitment to Crestline Direct Lending. They think it's in line with Buck's allocation, and it's in line with our goals. It's a direct lending fund, and it's overseen by an experienced investment team, and they have a track record above average.
Any comments, or anybody want to make a motion?
No, I'll make a motion to approve the recommended allocation of $10 million according to the memo that we have dated May 1st, 2024.
I'll second that.
Any questions or comments?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any other matters to come before the board?
Just real quick, I had a question from one of the commenters. Asked Ms. Duran a question about how, if we were going to do sort of an increase to the COLA, obviously we'd have to match it to the inflation rate, how that number is calculated in terms of what we would have to put into the retirement fund from the general fund.
So what happens is, for the cost of living, on an annual basis, our actuary, Korn Ferry, provides us with the number that we would need to put into the fund as part of our ARC. So once a year, the actuary provides us with a detailed report of where we stand as far as our pension benefits, our pension assets, our pension liabilities, and they calculate, and it usually comes out in July or August, where our fund sits as of the end of the last year. And then somewhere around October or September, once the cost of living comes out for the Philadelphia metro area, they then calculate the cost of living for what it would be for our retirees to get a cost of living payment in the next year. They provide us with a memo, and the memo is submitted to the board. The calculation is done by Korn Ferry, and they take in a lot of different factors: the interest earned, what our pension benefits are, what our pension liabilities are, the expected life of all of our employees that have retired, and also our employees that are here now goes into our ARC calculation. So when they give us the two memos, one has the annual required contribution just to stay exactly where we are at this point. They've estimated that to be $16,500,000 for this year, at the end of 2024 for us to put in. That will change once they receive all of the information from our fund and they give us our actuarial report. And then they later do the cost of living analysis based on the same factors, but they take into account what the cost of living was in this area. I think they use the Social Security cost of living index for the month of September, October of the year. So we don't calculate that ourselves.
Right.
We take what the actuary says.
Do you remember, excuse me, what their COLA estimate was for this past October?
So they told us that in order to put in the amount that would be required, the present value of that amount was $19 million some odd dollars.
Okay, on top of the $16 million that we were
On
going to have
top
to
of
do for the ARC.
$16 million for the annual required contribution, which was an estimate, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
May I ask a question? Just following up on that, Kim, it's my very limited understanding that that's a lump sum payment, so we're prepaying it, right?
So the annual required contribution that they come up with, our ARC amount, what this board has decided to do is we put in $1 million each month into the retirement fund from the general fund until we get the actual amount of the ARC, which would come out along with our actuarial report in July, we'll say. And then we continue to true up for the rest of the year. So the thought of the board was that we would be able to take advantage of any gains during the year if we put in $1 million each month or a percentage of that ARC.
I apologize, I misspoke. I'm talking about the COLA, the $19 million. That's a lump sum, but I guess where I'm going with this is past boards, can we choose to, rather than do one lump sum, can we bear the cost of a COLA increase over the course of 5 years or something?
So the actuary presented that the $19 million was for 1 year. You would put that in the year in order to create the present value of what it would be to pay the retirees over the next, well, over their life expectancy.
But couldn't we take that $19 million in year X, let's just say, and bear that over the course of, and I realize it would probably be different amounts because the present day value, but couldn't we bear that over 5 years?
So they
Or 10 years?
They suggested that it would increase the actuarial determined contribution by $19,841,602 for the year 2024. So they went with a 1 year.
But could we ask them to do it over the course of multiple years? Is there a policy reason? Is there any other reason why we couldn't?
We could ask them.
Okay. I'm aware that a prior commissioner board has set up the county where a lot of our debt service will be paid off in the next few years, so the county financial funds may be in a little bit better position in the coming years.
I can contact the actuary.
But wouldn't the number change in consecutive years following? Like the 19 million was for this year, and then next year it's going to be something else, more or less, depending on the calculation. I don't.
They would send us another cost of living memo for 2025, and if the board so chose, that would be the amount for 2025.
I think what you're saying, though, is, if I'm wrong, tell me, it's 16 million is what we've been short all the time. Now, this 1 year, we'd be short 19 million plus 16 million. The next year, we might not have to put 19 million in, but certainly we're going to put more than 16 million in perpetuity.
That would all go into the calculation, and again, part of the calculation is how we're doing with our investment earnings. Like if you took this month for an example, it doesn't look very good because there was a loss, and then May it starts to increase again. But they take into account how our investments are doing, the life expectancies of all of our employees and our retirees. If there was any change in actuarial tables, or if there was a different, like death to life expectancy, they take all that into account. I think it's broken down by a number of different factors that they come out with the annual required contribution as well as the cost of living. So I couldn't predict it, but I mean, you're right. It'll be a different amount other than the 19 million.
Just a follow-up comment for me as well. I know the definition of an insanity, what was said, but that's the same thing as coming here every month and asking us to change something that we've told you we can't change, that the state needs to change. I understand your frustration. Welcome to our world. All the time, there are things that we want to do that get stuck in committee. Suggestion, my students went with a bunch of other people up to Harrisburg last week and did a full day of lobbying. And I think most of you, if I remember, are members of PSSU, SEIU. I think they need to do some lobbying for you. Like, this is not an easy thing, I agree, but it's got to change on the state level. So, you know, we keep asking. I think everybody here is asking their state reps, but it's probably not ours that have it stuck in committee. But I have a feeling that your unions could reach in there a little better than we can. So I would make a suggestion to do that. And anybody else, any other comments? Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.